doing, good people? This is Dave Bed Animal. Okay, so today's game is the third game in a trilogy that was supposed to run a bit longer, but for whatever reason, the plug got pulled on it after this third game. This particular title is from 1992, and it was developed by Rare and published by Acclaim. That should kind of give you an idea of what title it is already. I covered the first two titles at the same time during a previous installment of the Summer of 8-Bit, and decided that this would be a good time to go ahead and knock out the third. Today's game is Wizards and Warriors 3. Now, Wizards and Warriors 3, or Kiro's Visions of Power, takes place right after the events of the second Wizards and Warriors game, Iron Sword. You've defeated Malkill on the top of Icefire Mountain, and Malkill's spirit survives. Malkill proceeds to strike Kiros with a bolt of lightning that removes his armor, his memory, and his honor. So, in essence, Malkill's ghost, or his spirit, hit Kiros with a bolt of energy so powerful that it literally left him naked and afraid. So, Kiros wanders around in the woods for a bit and eventually comes across the town that Malkill's spirit has taken over. And that's where our game picks up. You, as Kiros, you don several different disguises in order to infiltrate Malkill's hold on the city, learn new techniques, find out the whereabouts of different damsels in distress, and rescue them, and eventually defeat Kiros and rescue the king. Defeat Malkill and rescue the king, I'm sorry. Well, that's all well and good, and like I said before, this game borrows a lot from titles like Faxanadu that are more traditional adventure titles, but the Wizards and Warriors series was never really known as heavy adventure games. They were always action platformers with a little bit of adventure thrown in, so this title threw off gamers in a major way. Also, critics always said that this game lacked the combat or the amount of combat that the first two titles had. And that's largely true. You do a lot more exploration than you do fighting in this title, which I guess makes sense considering that Kiros is starting out without a memory, and he's piecing together his memory, so he probably doesn't have the fighting skills that he had previously. Eventually, though, you do find Malkill in the throne room of the city, and you defeat him, release the king, and there's a message that pops up on the screen during the ending that lets you know that there'll probably be a sequel to Wizards and Warriors. That never happened, and it's probably because Rare stopped working with Acclaim. This was around the time that Rare began their relationship with Nintendo and were primarily publishing titles for Nintendo, or developing titles to be published by Nintendo, I should say. And I don't think the Wizards and Warriors franchise would have been a good carryover for Rare to Nintendo. Mainly because Nintendo, had they wanted to do a title like that, probably could have found a more fitting title, or they already had one in Legend of Zelda. Kiro's Visions of Power was really groundbreaking because of its disguise mechanic, and having to use those disguises to infiltrate Malkill's kingdom. That was really something that wasn't done a lot in the NES, not in action games or action adventure games. It was done in strategy titles like Nobunaga's Ambition, Romance of the Three Kingdoms, things like that, but not in an action platform. So that was something that really set this game apart. Sadly though, shoddy controls, not enough combat, and game mechanics that really kind of took gamers off guard led to this game not being as popular as the first two titles in the series, and so it effectively got cut off at a trilogy. Now this one is probably the hardest to find of the three Wizards and Warriors titles, but to be quite honest, you won't be missing a lot if you miss this one. Iron Sword is probably the best of the three games. So if you have a copy of Iron Sword, you definitely have the best of the three Wizards and Warriors titles. This has been the 8-Bit Animal, and I'll catch you beautiful people tomorrow.